In this video, I'm joined by Afrikaans FC as we take a look at some early standout players from the first 2 months of the inaugural Northern Super League season. Today, we're talking about 3 teams, and each of us is picking one player from each team who's really caught our eye so far. This isn't a deep stats breakdown, it's all based on the eye test, vibes, and who's been fun to watch in these opening matches. So let's get into it. I had to go with Latifa Abdu,
Mm,
the Quebec native. I don't know if she's from Montreal, but she's certainly from Quebec.
mhm.
Abdu has been very exciting to watch on this team. First, week 2, week 3, back-to-back bangers from outside of the box. I've loved her celebrations. She runs and she celebrates with the crowd. She's been exciting to watch. She's not afraid to shoot. Again, another very direct player. When she gets it, she puts her head down. She wants to make things happen. I think like in North American leagues, that style of play, I think works really well. So I think like the style of play that which is maybe even another video because it's interesting. It's been interesting to see the different styles of plays that the teams have adopted.
Yes,
I do think that Abdu's style of being very direct, long, likes to go forward, works for her and works for this league. Yeah, so that's who my pick is.
solid choice. Again, yeah, Abdu, a player who is just continuing the rule of thumb, which is apparently we only score bangers here in the NSL, just long range shots all the time. I like that shout. I would have picked that as well. Anna Karpenko. I'm a goalkeeper by trade, so I must shout out the goalkeepers at some point. I did Aaron McLeod, but Anna Karpenko, I think, has stepped in. Another member, oddly enough, from that 2022 U20 Canadian side. It's like I researched them too much. But I think she started the season off well. I think she's a player that you could see possibly continue to improve. Maybe she takes another season in Canada before she goes overseas. But I think she's been one of the stories for how Montreal has been able to start their season. I know different people had different predictions for where they would be. And so for me, I've loved what Anna Karpenko has been able to do. I do want to shout out Tanya Boychuk. Newly Ukrainian called up Tanya Boychuk, but I think she scores the first goal for the NSL in Toronto. And so that always is a special place. But she's also played well. She's had a good pairing with Abdu. So I've liked that. But for me, Anna Karpenko, that's my shout for the Montreal Roses.
Karpenko, good shout. I mean, yeah, we were at that first game. She
Mm.
saved them. Like I feel like Toronto played better. They had definitely more chances, but she was incredible. She comes off her line well. And you never know I mean, Kaylin Sheridan's got it nailed down.
Hmm.
But then between D'Angelo and Liziane Prue, like who knows? Maybe Karpenko could find her way in there if she keeps playing well. So next we've got Ottawa Rapid FC, not the Rapids, which a lot of people call it's Ottawa Rapid FC. I will let you start this one.
Not a problem. It's Desi Scott. She scored a goal. You cannot give her flowers, please.
Yes.
But no, Desi has been. She clearly still has some gas left in the tank. If she wanted to play another season or so, she could. I'm leaving some obvious names off so that you can talk about them a little bit more because I think it's more fun that way. But I say Desi Scott because I also want to talk about the other Scott for Ottawa. Anytime I see the same name twice, I just say it's the cousins, and it's fun that way. But Olivia Scott, I think, has to me playing well in defense, a good shout out. I know when you look at Ottawa, Delaney gets all hype because of the goals, and yes, you need to do that. But defensively, they've been a solid side as well. So I want to shout out Scott and Scott, which sounds like the best law firm in Ottawa right now. So Scott and Scott, your defense attorneys at large. That would be for me what I would say. But I mean, you can't overlook what Delaney's done. But Olivia Scott and special shout out to Desiree Scott for how they've played. Those are my shot. Those are my vibes. What about you?
Nice. Scott and Scott, good sort of legal company, or like a plumbing, like father and son plumbing company. I feel like Scott and Scott could work.
It's
But
a family lumber business, or probably
yeah,
Scott and
yeah,
Scott and tree. Yes,
yeah, something
wonderful.
like that. Desiree Scott, really good shout. She does feel like she's like ticked off some years off her age, joining this
Mhm.
Canadian league, coming back and playing at home, I think has rejuvenated her. She had
Yes.
some injuries in the final years with Kansas City, and so she wasn't really able to play. And I think
Mhm.
now we can see she's finally like back in shape. Again, she's a DM. That's my favorite position on the pitch. Like it's so crucial to what any team can do that position, and we're seeing it with how well she plays in that midfield. Interesting. I wasn't sure who you were going to name. I have two people here. I really like what Mina Lee has done in
Ooh,
the
okay.
midfield. She had one of the goals of the season versus Toronto. Very technical, crafty. She can dribble through tight spaces. I'm
Mhm.
going on and on like she's the player that I've picked, but she isn't the player that I'm going to pick. I'm going to go with another Canadian. It is Stella Downing. Oh,
Oh.
she's been so fun to watch. She's like a little pocket rocket, like
Mhm.
live wire, full of energy, just keeps running. She's not shy. Like she's not afraid to dribble at players. I remember it was early in the season, Ottawa versus Vancouver. I think she's from Vancouver, and she was taking on players. She was running at them. I feel like you don't often see that. A lot of players sometimes maybe aren't confident with their dribbling skills, so they tend to look to pass. But
Mhm.
she goes right at them, takes them one on one, very pacey. She also wants to get into the box. She doesn't just
Yes.
stay on the wing. She'll drive towards the net. That's how she scored versus Toronto when we lost 4-0, unfortunately. And she's left footed. So, of course, I had to pick her. So, yeah, Stella Downing, that is my pick for Ottawa.
I'm surprised you didn't go with Delaney Pridham because I felt like she's leading the league in goals. She's there. I mean, it's an easy shout, and by no means, again, we're not saying she's not a good player. Definitely, this is our vibes, players that we've liked to watch.
Correct.
But I
Yes.
mean, I left her. I thought I was giving you an assist. I was like, okay, I'll give it to you. She's gonna go with her, and we'll cover. She's like, oh. Now I feel like I'm back to like, and the lady's doing well, guys. She's honestly doing very well. But yeah, it's a bit of a surprise for me.
Interesting. Look, we can only name two players
Fair.
officially. We can only officially name two players. No, but she's she scored a hat trick, first
Mm.
ever league hat trick versus Toronto. I think she's at like 8 or 9 goals now.
Eight
Like
goals in
she's
eight games. Yeah.
way ahead of the pack. I think the next highest person has like 3 goals.
Mm-hmm.
She's been crucial to what they've been doing. But no, she's also been good. Just because we didn't name her as the two standouts doesn't mean that she's not been good. She's been very good for Ottawa for sure.
I'm just prepping you for the comment section. Like, well, why didn't you think it's our vibes? It's just us. It's just
It's our
us.
vibes. And she's dual national. So, if there's ever a video that we do about potential NSL players that could get called up to Canada, for
If
example,
ever. Yeah.
I have a feeling that DB Pridham may be named. But, I'm just saying. I don't know if there's going to be a video like that, but if
I
there is, there might be.
I think I know someone who might do that. I'll call and see if they'll do it. Um, Vancouver. They were the first matchup for the NSL. They had a lot of names that we were excited to see. But for you, I'll let you be the guest on your own channel here and ask you who is your vibe, who vibes out for you, who's your standout for Vancouver so far this season.
I mean, I feel like you could guess just based on some of the stuff I've been saying so far. Uh, but I had to go with Holly Ward. I think she's been Vancouver's most exciting player. That opening game, and you know what? Unfortunately, Vancouver has kind of fallen off. I feel like that
Mm-hmm.
first opening game versus Calgary, the occasion didn't get to them. Like I thought they actually looked very good. I thought the occasion got to Calgary. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember watching, thinking like, okay, wow, maybe Vancouver might run away with this league. That's how good they looked. And Holly Ward was like incredible. Again, not a player I'd heard of. Sadly, I hadn't heard of her. But when I was watching it, I was like, who is this player? I looked her up, Canadian. I was like, awesome. But yeah, for me, she's been Vancouver's most exciting player. She's a constant threat on the left wing, one of my favorite positions. Dribbles really well. Also likes to take on players similar to Stella Downing.
Mm-hmm.
And she keeps the ball tight. I mean, it's the reason why we were able to see that penalty she was able to draw. She's very good at keeping like close control. She's confident in the box. When she gets in there, she wants to drive end line. She doesn't hesitate and try and turn around or do anything like that. And I think her good play is being rewarded. She keeps now getting consistently called up. And so and it's just very exciting to see NSL players getting rewarded by national team call-ups because it
Mhm.
shows just how good this league is, that we have that kind of talent on our teams. So yeah, I had to go with Hollywood.
Again, Hollywood, another member of the 2022 Women's Under 20 national team.
I'm noticing a
Again,
theme. I'm noticing a theme.
I mean, for me, that's what I was excited for. I was like, get some of those players into a league, get them playing professionally. And I mean, that's one route. And like, with any type of football, give these players routes, give them options where they can develop. Their development isn't always going to be linear, but give them the opportunity to become great players. Hollywood was like my one and only vibe because it was like, I when you spend the days on YouTube watching it, getting VPN to be like, okay, I'm gonna watch you guys just dummy up a Dominican Republic side for no reason. Okay, when you do that, it's like, yeah, Holly, you have my respect forever. You have my respect forever. So it's a good shout for me. The other player I was kind of looking at just because I think Mariah Lee on the website right now. I'm looking at you. 3 goals scored, 7 shots total, almost 700 minutes played. Reliable player in attack. And when you see that, again, because the rosters are so limited, you're going to need goal contributions from a lot more. And for Vancouver, you have Hollywood who's creating. You have Quinn, and they're just any penalty, it's theirs. And it's set, right? So when you have that balance, that balanced goal scoring, it does help. Vancouver started the league off. I think we all thought they were going to run away with it. Right now, they're in fifth. But that's just the lovely reality of the entire league, right? There's so much good parity, and it is going to be about managing the minutes once we get till the end of the season. So these players will get opportunities to play. So for Mariah Lee, I know she's going to have more and more goals to come in with her. I'm curious to see just with Vancouver as an overall thought, injuries as well. The same thing we mentioned with Toronto, right? Melissa Chang, when does she get back onto the pitch for them, right? That will solidify a few things for them as well. And then once you add that plus a Quinn, that allows Quinn to either be the sixth in their defense or allows them to be more of an eight to roam a bit more box to box. And I'm curious to see what Vancouver's able to do with that. But Mariah Lee for me is my shout for Vancouver. That's the vibes. I love those vibes.
Yeah, Riley was also one of the players that I was thinking of naming. I feel like she kind of so she similar to Hollywood, that first game, I was like speed. That's what I noticed
Yes.
with Lee, like speed, splitting the defenders. And then I feel like maybe she kind of dropped off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But in these past few weeks, I think she's scored like her 3 goals in these past couple of weeks. Like she's
Yeah.
really stepped up big, and I think she's becoming more comfortable with the league and the team. All of these players have never really played together. I think I forget about this, that
Mm-hmm.
most of these players, maybe they would have played with each other on like the national team, but a lot of them
Yeah.
are kind of from all over and put together. So it's totally understandable if it takes a little while for some players to get going. But yeah, Mariah Lee has stepped up big.
Random question because I'm thinking about NFL. There are players that are stood out. You've watched the games. I know you've been to games at the Lions. Is there a stadium that you want to go to and experience an NSL game? Um,
Putting me on the spot. Is there a stadium? I mean, I kind of want to go to all of them,
well, that's the
but
easy answer.
I kind of want to go to all of them. I guess if we're just talking like aesthetics or vibes, I really like Vancouver. I mean, I think they've got like mountains in their backdrop of that stadium. It's a
Mhm.
grass pitch. I also just like Vancouver in general. But if I had to pick, it'd either be, you know what, it'd either be Vancouver or Halifax, like the two places on the ends, because Halifax is also grass, also
Mhm.
like that, like, yeah. So how about you?
No, I mean, I keep on getting told I need to go out to Wanderers Ground in Halifax. So that's
Yeah.
on my list. Swangard, which is where the Rise play. I think it's also a solid shout for a place. They have just solid limited capacity stadiums right now. I know Ottawa's playing at TD Place right now, and I would love to get some more grass pitches, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But for me, it's also the edges. Give me Wanderers Ground or Swangard Stadium just because the the aesthetic. I know it's hard to view sometimes for Swangard where you have the sunset going over, but just the thought of watching a game over a sunset is terrible to play in, but aesthetically is lovely. So for me, it's like give me this lovely orange hue over the pitch as Holly Ward is going on a run down a wing and just going one way or the other. Give me that. That those are my two stadiums as well.
So those were our picks for the early standout players from Montreal, Ottawa, and Vancouver. Let us know in the comments which players you've enjoyed watching from these three teams so far this season. Special thanks to Afrikaans FC for joining me on this video. As always, please like this video and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.